Hi, BookTube. Okay, what are you reading Wednesday? It is finally here. Uh, I'm back from a beach vacation. I'm freshly tanned after being freshly sunburned. I did get some reading done. I finished one of the books that I talked about last time, and started another one. But the main book to talk about is Marilynne Robinson's Housekeeping. Housekeeping is fantastic. Housekeeping is a novel that is very light on action. It's heavy on rumination and characterization. It's basically the story of this one girl, Ruth, who is living with her sister after the death of her mother and grandmother, and she finally comes under the care of her aunt. And the action that is involved in the book is basically made up of Ruth and her sister kind of wandering around the area, and Ruth slowly making the realization that she is not like her sister, and that she wants something much different out of life compared to her sister. And the book really it 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 does a really good job tapping into that feeling of alienation and the feeling of discomfort with your immediate environment, and the desire to radically change that environment, to change your surroundings. And without spoiling the book too much, that is what Ruth eventually decides to do. As people on Goodreads have pointed out, the prose in this book is very rich. It feels very worked over. It takes a not insignificant amount of effort to get used to the writing style in this book, but as soon as you do get used to the writing style, it just flows. It all takes place from the perspective of Ruth, not just writing as a girl, but writing from the perspective of a woman writing about her girlhood. As the back cover points out, the book is about the impermanence of all things, especially beauty and happiness. And that's the thought that kind of keeps coming back to Ruth over the course of the book. Is this is all impermanent. Life, my relationships with my family, and so you have to be mindful of how you use that time, and mindful of what you do with your life. I'm probably making this sound incredibly boring. I always worry about that whenever I am uniquely bad at synopsizing stories. I mean, I could probably make The Terminator sound boring. But if my recommendation means anything, this is a very, very high one. It's considered a modern classic. It was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize, and then Marilynne Robinson, with her second novel, which came out like 20 something years later, Gilead, which I have not read, but it's also supposed to be great. She won the Pulitzer Prize for, and I sort of wonder if maybe the Pulitzer folks gave it to her thinking like, we probably should have given it to her for Housekeeping, and we should probably give it to her now because for all we know, she might not give us a third book, a third novel. She did though, and for the past 20 years, she has come out pretty steadily with novels, and now I'm really looking forward to them. And then the next book, which I talked about some last time, is this Ernie Kovacs collection. Haven't read too far into this. I'm still just kind of reading the introductory essays that are from other people. I haven't gotten into much of Kovacs' writing. The feeling that I get is that Kovacs was primarily a television creator, a television personality, and that his work outside of television was him dabbling, was him just kind of dashing stuff off and maybe not putting in the same kind of effort that he put into his shows. I hope that's not the case, but I'm trying to temper my expectations, I guess. The thing from reading the intro essays to this that kind of gets me excited is that it seems like it's also going to be a nice tribute to Edie Adams, who was Kovacs' wife and frequent collaborator, and an actress after Kovacs died, and is largely to thank for the survival of all the Ernie Kovacs material that we have. She was the one who was saving all those old tapes and kinescopes of his work in the 50s and 60s because she had a feeling that people wanted to see it, and she was right. So yeah, not too far into this one at all, but still excited to dig in. Next week I will definitely have some new books to talk about. I might even do a similar vid to this on Friday if I start some early. So thank you for watching.